families, my name is Mr. Bell and I am going to be doing the maths for Year 4 this year. So, as the start of this kind of new way that Year 4 is going to work, I'm going to be teaching maths to both classes in the year group, as opposed to Miss Lavender, who's going to do the English for both year groups. And it's something that I've done before when I've been in Year 6 for the last 2 years, and we find that it's really beneficial for the students in the idea that there's a more focused kind of teaching on each subject. So, our first topic that we're going to be looking at in maths is all about place value, and it's really important because it is the foundation of all the other maths that we're going to kind of build on top of throughout this year. Now, I just thought I'd run through some of the basics of place value so that when you're at home you can obviously support your child if they're stuck, or you can obviously challenge them a little bit to give them a bit of a reminder of what we've been doing in our lessons. So, in Year 4 we will go up to numbers including the 10,000s column. So if I'm looking at this number, first of all, my first column over here, the one with 7 in, we call the ones column. Okay, so that is the very first one. After that, we come into the tens, the hundreds. After the hundreds, we go into the thousands, and then this kind of new column that they won't really have done too much maths in so far is the 10,000s column. And by the end of our kind of autumn one, they should be able to recognise numbers, including all these kind of place value columns, and also partition those numbers. So by partition, they should be able to look at this number and, for example, say, this 8 here isn't really the number 8. Because it's in the hundreds column, they should be able to say, this 8 is actually the number 800. Okay? So because the 8 is in the hundreds column, it is 800. You could also quiz them and say, actually, what does this digit 1 represent? And the digit 1 here represents the number 10. In the ones column, it's nice and easy because it stays the same, so that is still a 7. My thousands, so I've got the digit 3 in the thousands column, so that means it is going to go into the number 3,000. And up here, I've got the 2 in the 10,000 column, which shows it is 20,000. Okay, so as we go through, your child should be able to recognise these columns up to 10,000, and they should be able to represent what each of those digits actually mean, the number behind them, based on their column. Okay? That is going to be kind of where we start off our topic, and as we go through it, we will also look at rounding to certain place value. For example, we'll look at rounding to maybe the tens column or the hundreds column. That's going to be a little bit later in this half term. Another thing that's going to be really important for Year 4 this year is times tables. Now, at the end of Year 4, there is the national times table check where each child will be tested on their times table knowledge, the same as every year for our child across the whole country. So, what is going to be really important and something that I will be focusing with them in school is their times tables, and we're going to be really hammering times table rock stars. So what I'd really like to hear about and see is making sure we're encouraging them as much as possible to get onto times table rock stars, whether that's just a quick 10 minutes every single day, just that quick kind of repeated use of it every single day would be really beneficial in terms of making sure their times table knowledge is really strong, which will also help them when we come on to the other topics in maths in school. I hope that's kind of helped you a little bit and you will be able to support your child a little bit more with their place value. Thank you.
Hi everyone, so in Year 4 in Autumn 1 we will be focusing our English on a book called Journey. Now Journey is a wordless picture book that tells the journey of a young girl who goes on an adventure. So we will be writing lots of descriptions, stories, adventures, so it's a really fun book for us to focus our first topic on. We will also be expanding our reading skills by looking at Demon Dentist, which is in line with our science topic of this term. Some of the grammar that we will be using in Year 4 includes conjunctions. Now, a conjunction is a word that joins two clauses together. So, the cat and the frog went to the beach and is our conjunction. It's joined to the clause, the cat and the clause, the frog went to the beach. Another example is, I wanted my dinner because I was hungry. The conjunction is because, as it joins these two clauses together. And then some other examples, which we'll all be using, is after, and, so, because, or, if, but.
Hello Griffin families, Mr. Bell here. just to give you a bit of information about a new topic that we are going to be doing in Year 4 this year. So our topic is actually called Burt, Bottoms and Biles. So a bit of a funny name, but it is actually all to do with the digestive system. And as we start our first couple of weeks, we will focus on the beginning of the digestive system, which is all to do with the mouth. So as you can see over here, we will be looking at the teeth. We'll be thinking about kind of the name of the different teeth, and we'll also be thinking about the importance of looking after our teeth as well. As we move throughout the half term, we will also move on to looking at the other areas of the digestive system. Starting off obviously with the mouth and the teeth, it will come down the esophagus, down into the stomach. Once it's kind of been in the stomach, where it has the stomach acid, which will be breaking down the food, it will go into the intestine. So we've got both the long and the short intestine, and then we will then move into, obviously, the bottoms bit of the digestive system, which is always the bit that children seem to get very interested in. And obviously we'll have to talk in our scientific terms about what happens to our food once it has left the body as well. So it should be quite a nice topic, all to do with the science of the body and what happens to our food when we eat it. So I'm quite excited, and hopefully that will be a really lovely topic for our Griffins. Thank you, bye.